Hey guys, welcome back. It's your favorite Camp with a Limp, and I am back with some more crap. All right, just more from Mythic. I hate these people. I hate them with a passion. Others are giving them a little more slack than I am. I have no mercy for the crap that they have pulled. Before we get started, I will say I have watched The King of Average. Make sure you go check him out. I mean, he's 3 times my size anyway, but he does a lot of good videos talking about this. He goes in some detail, some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about now, but he's covered a lot of this as well. So if you want to keep track of what's going on with Mythic, make sure you check him out as well. He does really, really good work and other coverage of board games as well. So definitely a really good guy. But Board Game Wire put out a video here recently about the whole Mythic thing, and old Leo came out with the accusation of death threats, doxing and IP deals, and blah 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 stuff that's going on with CMON and what's going on with the rest of the games, because Mythic has created I thought they said 15, it shows 13, but whatever. They've created up teen Kickstarters, and they haven't even delivered most of them. They're trying to say they've only failed 2, but they still have like 4, 5, 6, something like this left over. And now it's turned out that they're not even going to be delivering on a couple. They've basically waved their hands and like, come on, please, give these games out. But the problem is people aren't even getting anything that they pledged for. They might get something, but it's not going to be what they pledged. If they pledged all in, they might be lucky to get a core game. Right, that's how bad this is going on. Six Siege supposedly is on the boats, but it's only for those who paid twice for it. Are you kidding me? No, hell no. So let's look at this article and see what they're talking about. Talks about Mythic Games fall from one of the most successful crowdfunding focused board game publishers. No, they're not the most successful. Just because they had a good number of IPs doesn't make these people successful. It makes them con artists, right? It talks about in 18 months since they took the unprecedented step of asking Kickstarter backers for more money to complete a project, the $5.6 million Darkest Dungeon board game deal, which I did back Darkest Dungeon. But honestly, the game itself isn't bad. I mean, the components are shit dark, but when it comes to actual gameplay, I think the gameplay is decent. It's not a bad board game. And if you're a fan of Darkest Dungeon, it's definitely a fun one to play. But that was where they started their fall from grace, because they started asking people to pay more. And that time I did. I did a video talking about it then, that they weren't asking for too much. Just a little bit to help us deliver, because our shipping costs have gone up. I was willing, and so many others were willing, to give them that one off, right? All right, we'll give you one COVID oopsie and pay a little more. And it wasn't horrible. It was between like 20 and 40, just depending on what level you had backed at. But we're not even done with Darkest Dungeon. They've pulled so much other crap with Darkest Dungeon. Where Darkest Dungeon is as of now, as of where I understand it, is that they did not deliver the second wave like they said they were going to, because they did like this initial, please give us more money. And they said that we're just asking once. You pay us everything now, and we won't come back with our hands out like Oliver ever again. But then they did. And these people, a lot of them were non-English speakers. I mean, these people are living around the world. I don't expect Germans to have to play the game in English, right? They should get it in German if they paid, for it. France, French, same thing all around the world. But it didn't work that way. They weren't able to create the card packs for everything, so it looks like that's only going to be English and French. And everyone else, here's a game in English, hope you can deal with it. No refunds, no anything else, making people pay 2 and 3 times, saying this is the last time, we swear, when it's never the last time. They have screwed up so royally, it boggles the mind. I don't give them any mercy on this. This is not a company that has made mistakes. This is a company that has performed criminal actions, in my opinion, with everything they've done. I believe they knowingly ran Kickstarters with the intention of using that, and they even admitted this. They came out and admitted this wholeheartedly, that they never planned on using the Kickstarter money. I believe it was from Monster Apocalypse, which really pisses me off because sadly I backed that one too. That they did not run this campaign with the intention of using this money towards providing this product. And look, they still have late fudging pledges open. Look at this. You can't add items. Tell me they're not doing that now. Tell me. Okay, it looks like we might be lucky. They might not be doing that anymore. But they did this under fraudulent conditions. They did not plan on using this money to pay for this Kickstarter like people were told, right? You back a Kickstarter, it's to pay for this product. It wasn't. This money was used towards other products, and it was like that for so many other different things that they've done. Anastyr and Hell are the two that we're going to be looking at specifically here. All right, so what they have done is the sale of Hell, The Last Saga, and Anastyr's IPs earlier this week sparked the greatest outrage yet from backers after CMON announced that neither game was ready for publication in their current state. No shit. And would require substantial effort to complete. Kickstarter backers of both games, some of who paid hundreds of dollars for extensive add-ons and stretch goals, will now just receive a core box of CMON's redesigns. Mythic co-founder Leonidas Vespa Crappy spoke to Board Game Wire about the decision behind the CMON deal with death threats he has received since and where the future of Mythic's remaining projects lie. Okay, he makes his claim about death threats. Supposedly he made police reports over it. Okay, I feel for his family, right? He's got wife, he's got kids. I feel for them because it's not their fault, but I don't feel for him because what do you expect? People are mad. They are livid. The world has gone to hell in a handbasket in the past few years. And the little amount of money people have to spend on luxury goods, you deliberately stole from them. You did not just misappropriate funds. This wasn't business goofs because you made mistakes. This was you deliberately ran a Kickstarter with the intention of taking said monies and spending them on something else. That's fraud. I have no mercy for people being angry at you because they should. Because you should be in prison. You should be rotting behind bars right now. You committed theft for millions of dollars. Blew all these people's money on God knows what. Sure, it wasn't the production of their products that they paid for. And then you're upset because people are mad at you. Come the hell on, grow up. This big boy world. You're not stealing $100 from the corner store. You're taking millions from thousands of people and you expect them just to go, oh, well, he tried. No, screw you, dude. You're going to suffer. You need to suffer for what you have done. So Board Game Wire asks, how did the CMON deal come about? Did you approach them and publishers or did they come to you asking about it? And he's saying basically that from the very beginning of our problems, we contacted various publishers see if they would be interested in buying our IP. We talked with CMON, Monolith, among others, who were interested in the beginning, but initially only wanted to acquire IP for projects that had been delivered. Yeah, because why would they want to inherit your frickin' mess? For undelivered projects like Hell and Anastyr, but also Sixth Siege and Darkest Dungeon, we first tried to finish and deliver them ourselves with Darkest Dungeon, Sixth Siege. We succeeded. No, you did not succeed. You did not succeed on either case. And he makes this point numerous times that they succeeded. No, absolutely not have you succeeded. You have not completed Darkest Dungeon yet. Some people have received some products, but all people will not receive all products that were paid for. That's not going to happen because you're a sham. You're a shyster. You're a thief. With Sixth Siege, you talk about, oh, we're close to delivery. No, you're not. No, you are not, because I'm guessing at the numbers here based on the discords and the comments that I've read, but I know many like myself flat refused to pay twice for the game, because once you added up the fees that they wanted to pay, my total backing for Six Siege was something like 141 total, was including shipping. And they were wanting me to pay like 130 more or 140 more, somewhere around there. I forget exactly where it is. Once you added shipping all into it. So essentially you wanted me to pay twice for the same game. They're saying they're delivering it, but they're only delivering it to people who paid the extortion fees, and they're keeping the money of those who paid, who backed originally, but refused to pay the extortion fee. They flat out said, we will not refund people who don't pay the fee. Well, we might try to do some refunds later, but it'll be years. You're not planning on refunding anyone. You're not planning on doing that. You should have produced the games that people paid for, right? Period. End of. You don't sit there and tell someone, and the amount of fees that they were charging on this shows very clearly that they were having to pay for the entire production of Six Siege. They had none of that money left. None of it. None of it. How much was this thing total? Where was it? Where's the campaign? What did they get out of this thing? 1.5 freaking million dollars. Not one friggin' dime of that went towards Six Siege. Everyone had to pay for it twice. What are they talking about? They succeeded. They have succeeded in nothing. In nothing. They have less than succeeded. What is, or will succeed soon. I'd punch you in the mouth. I swear to God. For hell, the game was finished, but releasing it as planned would have required us to ask our backers for a huge contribution. No, stop saying contribution. Contribution. Huge extortion fee. Much higher than that of the other. How could it be higher? You were asking for 100%. 100% of what people had already paid for Six Siege. You would want more than 100% of the cost? Out of your mind. God, I hate this guy. Much higher than the other. You guys have to forgive me. I'm hot. I'm burning up here. For Innister, the game was far along, but not finished. Come on. I'm saying, come on up above. Was saying that neither game was anywhere near finished. That wasn't near finished. What are you talking about? But as with Hell, producing the game exactly as we had planned would have required a contribution request that was far too high. In discussions with Come On, we were pleased to see that they could consider acquiring both IPs. As stated earlier, at this stage, we preferred a solution that would allow as many backers as possible to receive a game rather than a new, higher contribution request that would risk affecting a much smaller number of backers. Shut up. Where does this leave Monsterpocalypse and the rise of Necromancers? And that's a good question, because there are thousands of backers on both. Fortunately, I am one of the ones on Monsterpocalypse because it looks so friggin' cool. Big monsters smashing cities. I was excited to get that at the table. I was excited to paint those monsters. I'm surviving, right? But right now, currently, I am running I do a fundraiser once a year. I don't do a Patreon, don't do anything, but I do a fundraiser once a year to help offset the cost of the channel as much as possible. But most of it I end up eating, right? Giveaways, shipping costs, all that stuff. And this has been the lowest fundraiser I've had ever, and the biggest my channel's ever been. And that tells me that people just don't have it, right? They just don't have it. And I know that they don't have it because I don't have it. So for the very little bit of luxury money that people have to be stolen by this guy, it burns me up from the inside. How dare you do that? That's why I want to see him suffer personally for what he's done. Not that the business collapses. The Mythic Games is done. They will never survive this. They've created too much bad blood. But there needs to be something more than just them going out of business. They have screwed up too bad to just declare bankruptcy as a business and go by. He needs to declare bankruptcy. He needs to personally suffer for what he's done. Now, I don't wish ill upon his family. I really don't. Because I know it's not their fault, or at least I hope not. I would highly doubt his kids were involved, maybe the wife, but it's not their fault that he's an idiot and a thief. But no, you don't get to walk away. You don't get to have the business closed down. And no, you got to suffer for what you've done. So where does this leave those games? Are you hoping for something similar to the Common deal? Are you anticipating more contributions? Blah, blah, blah. And this is what I've been waiting, because I knew he was going to do this. And I refuse to pay more for something I've already paid for. For these two games, the solution is ask for a contribution, but the reactions to our communications are getting out of hand. It is clear that we inadvertently created and fed a bad buzz about our... Inadvertently? What? Yeah, there are no words. What's more, the Hell and Anastasia press releases and Kickstarter updates have taken us to a new level. This time, people are attacking us personally. Good. But Nault and I have received physical and even death threats. Some even go as far as to post our home addresses on social networks so that angry backers can find us. I know that this is an exaggerated minority, undoubtedly acting out of unreasonable anger. It is not unreasonable anger. It's not unreasonable. Now, are they acting out of hand? Yes. I'm sure there are a few that are taking this to extraordinary lengths, but no one is unreasonably angry at the actions that they have taken. No one. You deserve all the hate and vitriol coming your way. You deserve every bit of it. Your family doesn't, right? I don't support doxing. I don't support doing that stuff. Don't go to people's houses. Don't, do that crap. We need to do this the proper way, through legal channels, and get him that way. Because going after him personally, that's just going to get people in trouble. He needs to be the one in trouble. He needs to be the one where the law is coming after him for the crimes that he's committed. Nevertheless, I also received many messages of support. I doubt that, but I feel that an unacceptable threshold is being crossed, and you'll understand if I have to take a little time before answering the question of what we should do about these last two games to be delivered. The mere fact of making announcements is now immediately exposed as physical people associated with Mythic Games. Some people seem to forget there are people and families behind the names they insult. I don't care about the people who are Mythic. If you are a Mythic employee responsible for this cluster shuck, then yes, you deserve all the vitriol that is coming in your direction, every single bit of it, because you have more than royally screwed the pooch here. Like I said, not their families, not their homes, none of that crap. We need to be better than that. We need to get them to where it really gets them for what they've done. Does the Come On deal provide financing for the completion of future projects, or is it being used to pay down debt? Blah, blah, blah. We're happy with the agreement we've reached because it means the backers will get something back. Of course, it helps us pay for the general operating costs that remain as we complete and ship the games. What operating costs? Operating costs means your salaries. You guys should be working for less than free. You should be working 3 other jobs right now just to pay people back as much as possible. Little thief. God, if he was in a room with me for 5 minutes, I'd give my money back, I tell you. Your line on the future of Mythic has until now been, we're working hard, and despite these problems, we've always been able to deliver on our many campaigns. Now that these 2 campaigns have failed to deliver, what do you see as the future of the company? The future of the company is done. Done. D-U-N, done. The only future we can see is to deliver the games that are still outstanding. The difficult decisions we have taken allowed us to find solutions for several, which I hope will count in the final balance. Let me remind you of some numbers. Since its inception, Mythic Games has launched 15 projects on Kickstarter. It doesn't say that. It says 13. Okay. Or a GameFound. Oh, so 2 are probably on GameFound. Of those 15 projects, 13 have shipped or about to ship. List of games, blah, 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 blah. And again, he puts down 6 Siege, and I think Darkest Dungeon. Yeah, Darkest Dungeon, Wave 1, Wave 2 in production, 6 Siege. You have not shipped 6 Siege. You have not completed. You can't deliver to half the backers, or I think it's actually less than half the backers who pay the extortion fee. Basically, you can't deliver just a portion by stealing from others. You kept our friggin' money, right? The majority of backers, but you only deliver it to a few, and then you're trying to hold this up as some triumph, like you've succeeded. No, that's not how it works. That's like running a mile of a marathon and saying, yay, look at me, I did so good. No, you failed, right? It's pass fail. It's not, hey, we did some of it, yay us. No, you're a failure. You are a horrible failure as a person and as a business owner. Hell and Anasteer will be shipped to backers by Come On, at least the base box. Yeah, they're people who paid for add-ons, for extensions, for the upgrades, for all that stuff. Not getting it. Not getting it. And I don't blame Come On because it's not their fault. They're picking up the mud pie that is Mythic's products. So they're trying to make the best of it. That leaves Rise of Necromancers on GameFound and Monsterpocalypse. We're currently focused on delivering Darkest Dungeon and Six Siege, and then we'll look to the best solution for the last two projects as mentioned above. This is the only position we have the future of Mythic Games. Yeah, because Mythic Games is done. You will never launch another game. No one will ever trust you. No one. I mean, Jesus himself could come down right now and say, yep, I guarantee this game's going to be completed, and people still wouldn't back it. That's how little faith they have in Mythic Games right now. Do you anticipate ever launching another Kickstarter campaign with Mythic, or do you think they'll prove impossible now? I don't know if it's impossible. It's impossible, you idiot. Because we've seen many unexpected turnarounds in business and politics. What does that have to do with anything? Business and politics. Shut up. You're talking about business. And in business, you're a failure. You're a horrible failure. But, and you don't begin your sentences with but I wouldn't expect you to understand that because you're an idiot. As I've explained to you, the repeated media storms are tiring and getting worse. We don't plan anything else for Mythic Games until we have delivered or found a solution for all our undelivered campaigns. It doesn't matter. Have you looked? Go look. Go pull this up on Kickstarter, people. Y'all go look and click and read the comment sections for these, and then go look and see when the last update was. People who cared, a business owner who cared and really was trying to make an honest, good faith effort to dig himself out of the hole, would have put something, any update. I think Monsterpocalypse, if I remember right, hasn't had an update in 6 years, or not 6 years, 13 months. Let's see. Updated March 31, 2023. Monsters Rust, but stay on the look. Are you kidding me? It's been a year. It's been a year. And you haven't updated. All of them are like that. All of them are like that. Any of the ones that are, he's just stuck his head in the sand and just eyes wide shut. Someone who cared, someone who was making a good faith effort would have put something. Even a, hey, we haven't forgot about you. We're trying. Bear with us. We're sorry. Barely. The apologies, I think he said one. The entire time that I've been reading this stuff, it's nothing but excuses. Nothing but excuses. This guy's trying to weasel his way out from underneath it. We need to organize as the internet hive mind to find a way to make them pay for this crap. Because they have ruined Kickstarter for good companies. Because the next time a good company is a new company and they're bringing this new IP to the table that could be a really good game that people are going to like, a lot of people are going to have that sour taste in the back of their mouth. And they're not going to want to back it. And they're not going to trust people because of being burned so many times, especially by this same company. Kickstarter, it's already been going down. It's already been shrinking for a multitude of reasons. But then to have this go on, it's going to make it to where no one is willing to take the risk anymore. And this plethora of just wealth of gaming that we have had is not going to be available anymore because no one is going to have faith that you can still get what you pay for. No one's going to have faith in it anymore. All because of these a-holes. When does the license for Monster Apocalypse from Private Press expire, and will that have any effect? And basically he says it's not going to affect it. The only thing we can do now is limit the damage. Blah, blah, blah. No. The only thing you can do now is provide what you were paid to provide. Period. Do you have updated shipping for Six Siege, Darkest Dungeon Wave 2? Six Siege is on the boats. No. Half of it is on the boats. Heading for the hubs. Really? Is mine going to be there? Because I gave you $141 to ship it. Main game and then the 2 map packs. It was going to be on my damn table. I was going to film the thing. Mine's not on that boat. Thousands of other people's are not on that boat. What are you talking about? It's on the boat. No, it's not on the boat. Only the people that were willing or able to pay your extortion fee are on the boat. Everyone else, you just kept their money and told them to piss off. Between the weeks of shipping and the deliveries from the hubs to the backers, we can expect delivery around April. Printing for Darkest Dungeon Wave 2 will start after the Chinese New Year, so it's too early to give a delivery date. But if all goes well, we can hope for September. What are you hoping? The people who are still waiting on that aren't going to get what they paid for anyway, because that's like you sending me a game in Japanese or German, right? The ones that you're going to send it to, they're not going to be able to play it. If it's no different. If you send me a game in a language I don't speak, you haven't sent me a game, idiot. Knowing what you know now, would you have done differently with your Kickstarter projects over the past 5 years? Was any of this preventable? All of it was preventable. In retrospect, I think we should have been more cautious and less confident in our model. We should have kept a tighter rein on our operating costs and found other sources of revenue, perhaps retail sooner. We probably hired too many people. That's a definite. That's a definite. They were young people who suddenly had millions of dollars in the bank. And rather than doing what a smart business owner would do and cover your cost, and then everything after cost is profit, he spent freely. And I guarantee you, God, please, someone get us the books. Get us their financial books. Someone's got to have access to that, because I want to see what they were taking as a salary. I guarantee you it was exorbitant. For him and for plenty of the others that are working there, they were probably paying themselves these exorbitant salaries. And that's where our money ended up going. No, your salary is whatever the profit is. Once you have paid the production costs, the shipping costs, the artist and everyone else involved with it, right? All that's done. Anything left over, that's you. But you didn't do that. You just spent willy-nilly and, oh, shit, wallet's empty. I know. Here's a good idea. Let's launch another Kickstarter and that'll get us another few $1 million. But wait, we spent the money from game B on game A and now we can't produce game B. Let's launch game C. And then you just Ponzi schemed your way into the hole even deeper. Idiot. What advice would you give to other Kickstarter-focused board game? You shouldn't be giving anyone any advice. I'd tell them to be careful and diversify. Start small and have small structures to be flexible. Don't try to grow too fast. Really? That's my 5-year-old could give that kind of business advice. Although it's not surprising that that's the most type of advice you could give. That's the most that you've learned out of all your failures. Does Kickstarter need to reassess its policies for how many projects a single company is allowed to launch? Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. Would that have been useful to Mythic in hindsight? I don't want to blame Kickstarter. They're not responsible for the difficulties we've had. They changed their terms and conditions at the time to adapt, and people's spending habits also change. If it hadn't been for the repeated crises we had, I think we would have been able to make it through, but our Kickstarter-only model was fragile and too risky when you have a big team. You shouldn't have had a big team. And what crisis? The crisis was of your own making. You spent the money you weren't supposed to spend, and then you kept doing it. It's not a hard concept. They act like all of this was out of their hands. That I couldn't have done anything. It just happened to us. No, you happened to us. You are the crisis. You. It wasn't some random thing. You want to try to blame COVID. He keeps trying to blame COVID like COVID was the problem. COVID happened after you had done many of these campaigns, right? So you can't go back and blame COVID. Not to mention the fact that had you done what you should have done and paid your cost up front, then you wouldn't have been affected by COVID, but you didn't do that. And even still, COVID hit everyone. It hit everyone. You're the only company that's had this severe of a problem. Some other companies had a few issues, but I don't think I can actually think of any other company that's asked for more money to deliver a game. If you guys know some, definitely put them down in the comments. But I can't think of one off the top of my head that's done that. I know some others had some issues. They got delayed or whatnot. They were eating shipping costs. And a lot of them are war game companies that don't produce on this big of a scale and have much smaller margins. And even still, they were able to weather the storm, right? They were able to do it. They were running Kickstarters, but they still delivered. And they did it without having to beg everyone to pay 2-3 times for the game. How could they do it, but you couldn't? And you had far more resources than they did. Is there anything else Kickstarter should have done which would have aided your ability to fulfill these projects? And again, Kickstarter is not responsible for our problems. Kickstarter is just a way to fund and deliver projects. Thanks to Kickstarter, we've been able to fund and deliver many ambitious projects. God, he sounds like a politician, doesn't he? Sounds just slimy. Like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. We've encountered difficulties that have hit us particularly hard, but we've kept fighting back and looking for solutions. Although Mythic Games will not be producing them in the end, Hell and Anastyr have not been abandoned. They will live on, and backers whose disappointment we understand will have the opportunity to receive a box. No, they don't receive a box. You need to receive a box. Boxing ring. And with me, I don't care. I walk with a cane. Crippled by a landmine. I'll still knock the smug right off of you. I swear, dude. Anyway, that's where Mythic is standing right now. They're still up to their same old. They haven't improved. They're still garbage. They are still the worst board game company that has ever existed. They have screwed so many people, thousands of people, millions of dollars pissed away without a thing to show for it. You know what? You want to apologize to the backers? Release your financial records. Put them out on the internet. What you got and what you spent it on. Because I guarantee you people will lose their minds if they found out how you really spent their money. Because it is not how you said it was. It is not. I guarantee you, you blew millions that you weren't supposed to blow on whatever it was. New cars, new houses, toys, whatever it was you were shopping. It was not to produce the product. And Mythic could still be good. They could have weathered the storm. You had all these big IPs. Look at these IPs. Where are they? Darkest Dungeon, Six Siege. Come on, Monster Apocalypse. You had the Joan of Arc, Reichbuster, Solomon Kane. You had some just big games, some bigger name games that you could still be producing. You could still have new Kickstarters going if only you hadn't been a greedy little snake who stole everyone's money. This company could have been making so many good products because some of the ones that you made were actually good. Like I said, the gameplay for Darkest Dungeon is actually pretty decent. The game itself, the components are dark, way too dark. I mean, I had to cut off all my lighting just to be able to film it, but the gameplay itself wasn't bad. Plenty of people said that they really liked Solomon Kane, right? That it was a good game. I didn't play it, but supposedly it's really good. I thought about backing Reichbusters. I think I did the $1. Thank God I missed that one. Thank God. They did not get any more of my money, I swear. But they could have. They could have been so much more than they were. But now Mythic Games will collapse. They will never fund anything again. They will never do anything again. The most they can do is hope to mitigate the damage on their way out. But he's not even doing that correctly. Right? They just keep saying, well, no, you can't Oliver this shit anymore. You need to give people what you paid for, right? If you need 100,000 more, 200,000 more to deliver something, go take a loan, dude. Go sell your house. I don't care. Go sell your boat that you probably bought. This mess is yours. You need to own it and make up for it, rather than telling all of us, well, we'll give you the game if you pay for it again, which is your current business model. And it's a failure. I'll be honest, I would love to see them brought up on charges. I really would. The stuff that they've done, launching a Kickstarter with the intention of not using the money towards what you're telling people that you're using the money for, has got to be a crime. That has got to constitute fraud. I know it's against Kickstarter's terms of service. I mean, it's right there in their bylaws. You have to use the money towards whatever project it is you say you're using it towards. It'd be one thing if they tried to make a product that failed, like that stupid breathe underwater snorkel thing. I mean, that was a different type of scam. But they launched it with the intention of never using that money towards that project. What were you going to do? What was your end game? How many plates did you want to balance before you thought it was going to crash down? You could have stopped way earlier, caught your breath, slimmed things down, worked just a little bit harder, and gotten yourself out underneath this, and Mythic could have still been a good company, and you could have still launched these games, just slowed down a little bit. Instead, you just screwed as many thousands of people for as many millions of dollars as you could. All right, I'll get off my soapbox, but if I hear anything else, I'll make another video, because I'm not letting these people get away with it. I know I might not have a big voice, but I got a little one, and I'm going to scream as loud as I can about this crap as long as I can to make sure that there's some type of recompense. There's got to be. They can't walk away from this. But I will put in the addendum there. Yeah, don't threaten the families. That's stupid. It's not the family's fault. It's not his kid's fault. The kids are already suffering enough. They have this guy for a father. I mean, she married him. Think of the poor mistakes she's realizing she made. Heaven forbid the fact that she had kids with him. I mean, those kids have to grow up with this guy as a dad, so they're already suffering enough. Don't dogpile on them. All right, that's going to be it for me. Y'all take care. I'll catch you in the next one.